And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we begin this Tuesday, do not forget the Pancake Jubilee is underway downtown Meridian, the Downtown Optimist Club, as they'll have their 76th annual today. Lots of pancakes are going to be whooped up today. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, all that good stuff there. Make sure to drop in and visit them. We'll have a special guest this morning. Deb's a little under the weather this morning, and we'll be kicking off in roughly about 30 minutes from now, 29 minutes or so, we'll do that. A big change in the forecast this week where we were telling you that severe weather was forecasted for Wednesday. That's out of the forecast now. It's calmed down. It's gone to our northwest, way to our northwest out of the state of Mississippi. So the biggest thing that we'll have on Wednesday is going to be strong winds. We'll look at that in just a moment when we get into the forecast and what they're offering from the National Weather Service. That's right around the corner, so don't rush off on that. And, well, it's time that we head out to Collinsville this morning. A little message from the Baptist Church, the First Baptist Church of Collinsville. And I'll let him explain today's talking to. Yeah, that's coming up now.
Have you ever noticed that our culture is filled with all kinds of sexual activity? Things that used to be taboo or kept quiet behind closed doors are now celebrated in the open for everyone to see. Exposure to sexual depravity is realistically unavoidable in our culture. Just the other day, I pulled up Hulu to put a TV show on for my kids, and I was greeted by a huge ad for the new Hulu docuseries Planet Sex, starring Cara Delevingne, in which the actress basically travels around and participates in conversations and activities surrounding a myriad of sexual identities and sexual expressions, engaging with people who participate in every form of sexual perversion imaginable. And I see all of this openly celebrated on a normal streaming menu, and all I'm trying to do is put a show on for my kids. It's crazy, right? But I believe this constant barrage of sexual immorality begs a question from us. And the question is this: as Christians, how are we supposed to understand and practice sexuality in a culture that says anything goes? Well, in Matthew 19, there is a curious little passage in which Jesus addresses the disciples who asked a similar question regarding marriage and sexuality in a culture that was filled with sexual sin. Jesus essentially identified two groups of people who exist in this regard: those whom God has given to be married in a heterosexual relationship, and those whom God has given to be single. And he recognizes that there are challenges for both of these groups. It is, in fact, very hard to keep a marriage covenant for a lifetime, and it is equally challenging to live your life alone without falling into sexual sin. Regardless of our circumstance, however, Jesus unapologetically calls us all to live in obedience to God in regards to our sexuality. For the married couple, that means faithfulness and devotion to one another only, and for the single person, that means abstinence from sexual activity. Jesus upholds this standard for everyone, regardless of the sinfulness of their culture, and the Bible makes it clear that any deviation from this standard is sin. Each of us should strive to live differently from the world in this respect and be obedient to God's design. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Join them this Sunday or maybe tomorrow night, Wednesday night. They'll have church service there in Collinsville. Come see what the fuss is all about. They'll tell you more about it. Always a good time there. Well, we're beginning this Wednesday morning, actually Tuesday morning as I get my day straight. Tuesday morning as we get underway. 68 right now. That's warm, isn't it? But it's going to get to 76 today, and we're going to talk about some 80-degree weather right around the corner. Right now, let's pull up Meridian Honda radar and just look at what's going on. Now, all clear in Meridian and southward all the way to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but what is this we have north of here? It's been extreme amount of fog as we get up here just north of Scuba as you cross into Noxubee County all the way up to Stark, Vegas, and this will pick up Brooksville. As we've all stopped to get something to eat there. You just can't help yourself. All around Starkville and Columbus Air Force Base. Even over Tuscaloosa this morning, we got showers. So if you're leaving Meridian, headed to Tuscaloosa for any reason this morning, you're going to get into a few showers. Now, as we'll talk about this morning with the forecast that is coming, there's a huge storm. Let's look at this. This is going to come from the west and travel east, but it's going to go just north of the Mississippi line, missing us. It's going to be so much snow. It's hard to imagine 80-degree weather here and snow just above us. All of that's going to be happening this week. All right, let's get into the forecast now and find out what everything has to offer this morning.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
And let's see here if I can find the correct button to throw up. I didn't hit this right for some reason. Here we go. Let's get this up where we can talk about the weather here of exactly where did that go. You ever had just something walk off? Well, I just had that. Aha, I know what I've done wrong now. Some days you got your program together, some days you don't. Today's that day that I've got things not working as they should. There we go. All right, we're going to have this in just a second here. Don't you just love live things when they don't go like you had it planned? That's what we're in the middle of. All right, let's talk about our record highs and our record lows for today as we pull this up for you to view finally. Sorry about that. As we look at this today, 2018, we were at 84 degrees. So this week is kind of matching what happened about 5 years ago. As we looked at 1958, we're nowhere near the low that was 21 on this date back in 1958. A cold day it was. As we look across today, cloudy. As we'll look at this all northward, as we're seeing here on radar this morning, up around Columbus Air Force Base, Starkville, we're getting those rain showers. We should be cloudy throughout the Meridian area, and as well as we cross over into Alabama, 76 over in Demopolis, we should hit 76 Selma, and over near Hank, Montgomery looks to be 75 today. Now, as we look across this trend, this is what's coming Wednesday. As I said, they've dropped the chance of severe weather. But yes, we do have severe winds that are going to be coming in on Wednesday. So as we look at this, we'll see this. We're going to have sustained winds of 25 miles an hour, gusts of 30 to 40. And just to the west of us in Jackson, elevated threat, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds as we get over to that end of it. Pretty strong it is. As we look at these temperatures, hot is an underestimate word for what we have right now. Look at this. All across the great state of Mississippi, Louisiana, we even see Texas, Florida, some of the Carolinas there. It's hot. And as we look at our 7-day forecast, here's what we got. 76 today, only down to 62 tonight. But look what is happening Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Do I see 82? Do I see 85? We sure do. That's hot. Now, the temperature will drop just a little bit there on Friday, coming down to about 70. And over the weekend, we're going to be hovering at 80 all the way through Monday. That's warm. It is 30% chance of showers moves into the forecast on next Monday. As we look at this extended forecast, this was not even a February, in my opinion. 71, 78 on the 2nd of March. And by the 7th, a full week into that, we're still sitting at 70 degrees. Can y'all believe that? Warm it is. Hot, hot, hot. As we look at that fishing forecast, Chet's Paint and Body tells us to grab a line and head to the fishing hole somewhere around 1 o'clock this afternoon. 1 to 3 would be a great time to go fishing. We're going to have southwest wind around 10 miles an hour. Gusts should be as high as 20 miles an hour. That's pretty strong, isn't it? That it is. We'll be right back with more here with Scotty Ray, and as we track this weather for you bright and early. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. And welcome back as we get ready for this. Again, the show will be underway at 7 o'clock. As you can see off to my right here, somebody would be my stage left, his opposite. Yeah, this is going to be our special guest this morning. Coming up at 7, it's Severe Preparedness Week. We'll learn more about that from him this morning as we get underway. Thank you for dropping by. We'll be live in roughly 19 minutes from now with the latest of what's going on around the nation, locally, well, in the state as well. Visit with us beginning live at 7 o'clock this morning.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: